Hello creative friends, welcome to a video where I am going to be showing you all the art that I made this month and kind of reviewing it, talking about it, and saying what inspired it and other notes on it. I'm sitting in my newly dismantled painting corner. Sorry, squeaky chair. This was where I had my easel before, but I took it down because I just am not doing a lot of canvas painting right now, and I wanted a little place to sit and read, so this is like a reading nook at the moment. Just a winter alteration, kind of. Anyways, this has been, so this is my review for like all the art made in January 2024. This has been a weird month, not a great one. I lost my dog early in the month, so you'll see that I did a tribute piece about some of the dogs I've had. We'll deal with that one later. I'll save that one up. But I did do a lot of digital art this month, and I also did a few arts and crafts things that I'll mention at the end. They're not all finished necessarily, but I'll show you what I've done. This is my like second or third month of doing my new art style. I did a video about kind of how I changed my art style last month. So this is just, I wrote down all the pieces on this little paper here. This is just like some more pieces that have helped me continue to figure out the style and all that. Technical notes, I drew most of my stuff, all of my stuff in Procreate. A lot of times I will draw on paper, take a photograph, and then create some line art from that. That's kind of how I do a lot of my doodles. But it's all Procreate. I use two pencils, or two brushes in particular. I use 6B pencil, and I use the soft pastel brush. All of these pieces you're gonna see are, I'm pretty sure, just 100% those two brushes. So, okay, let's get into it. I've got my iPad, but I'll put, don't worry, you don't have to look at my iPad. I'll put the art on the screen for you. The first piece is Library Mouse Nap. Oh great, my iPad is at 15%. Okay. This is a really cute picture that I'm very happy with. I started doing some of these more like picture book scenes, but the way that I've been drawing them is like from the background out. So I have like the ability to remove the characters from them, but I'm not doing these for picture books. So I don't really know why I'm doing this. Drawing everything as like a separate object. It's kind of a fun method, but I think it is very time consuming. So I'm gonna have to think about that. This piece is still sticking with my color palette that I've been working with. Some of the things I like about it, I like the way the books came out on the shelves. I think that they look really dynamic and varied and interesting, which is hard to do when you're trying to make background art of a repetitive object. I also really like the detail of the book on the coffee table. I don't know, I just think that one turned out really well. The mouse is cute. It's not, I'm still struggling a little bit with poses, so this little curled up pose was challenging for me, and I don't think it's necessarily the best pose I've ever executed, but I think it is still recognizable for what it is, and it's cute. And those are kind of the two key points. As long as you can tell what it is and it is cute, everything else is fine. So I'm happy with that piece. The next one is my skunk. Now I really, really, really love this piece, partly because the way that the skunk is dressed is basically how I dressed in high school. I had just like, weirdly enough, I'm wearing a striped shirt today. I have not worn a striped shirt in like a decade. I just found this in a drawer today and I was like, I should wear that. But I was like striped shirt and jeans every day, and I played guitar, and so this is sort of just me as a teenager, I guess. I haven't drawn skunks before. This is my first skunk picture. I think it turned out pretty good. The tail is a big part of it. A lot of these critters have the same building blocks for features. You just kind of change up the patterns on the fur, the ear shape, and then the tail shape, and then you can basically build a lot of different animals. Sometimes the proportions change as well. So yeah, I'm really happy with this. I think he would make a really cute sticker. So TBD what I'm going to do with this piece, but I really like it. Next we have Bunny in a rocking chair. This chair took me so long to draw that it was truly, the bunny came together in like probably 20 minutes, but the chair was difficult because I drew it like three-dimensional, so there's different shading on all different sides of it. I also drew in a wood grain pattern on all of the wood, which I think is a great detail, but definitely was just another time-consuming aspect of it. So I kept the background really simple, which I think was a good choice, just added those curtains. In terms of the bunny's composition, I really like the little feet, I like the little hands, the pose was pretty easy to do. The ears, I did struggle with a little bit in terms of where on the head to place them, because ear placement does add a lot of personality. What am I doing with my hands? But it's like, there's a lot of personality for a bunny with like ears on the top versus on the side. There's like, so it is a choice. I also discovered I really love drawing characters with glasses because the glasses are so cute. But as you can see, when you've got a bunny, the glasses have nothing to do with the ears, so it is kind of funny. It's like incorrect, but in a funny way. I don't know. I'm probably gonna put more glasses on characters. Next, we have my horse drawing. I really like this picture. I really loved the sketch of this picture, so the colored version I like, but it's not, I don't know, I just really like the sketch way more. I was able to get that Fibonacci sequence curve in the horse. I find horses extremely difficult to draw. They're not a creature that I was not a horse girl. I did not grow up drawing horses, so this is like my first real successful horse. I decided to go more not Scandinavian. It's not what this is, but that was sort of the starting point, my inspiration for the flowers and the composition style because I didn't want it to be like a realistic setting. This was more decoration around the horse itself. The color choice was really interesting for me. I don't work with purples a lot, but I started going with it and I wanted to be magical feeling, like not a unicorn, but like unicorn flavored horse. So I think it all turned out nice. I do sometimes I look at this and I think maybe I should recolor the whole thing in like neutrals or something. But for now, I'm happy with this, and I do love it. But like I said, I think it's because I love the line art more. Next, I did a collection of froggies. I love these frogs very much. I have no negative notes about them. I drew this collection because I am going to try and use them for a couple of purposes. I think eventually they could be a sticker sheet. They could be a border for a notepad once I rearrange them. And they're just individually very delightful. But that's why I also did all those botanicals in this picture because I wanted to create more graphic assets I could use for rearranging for products. They all have different personalities, different faces and expressions. Some are much sillier than others. My favorite is the one in the bottom left who looks like he kind of fell and went splat. I don't know, that's the frog I resonate with the most. But I like the sad ones, I like the happy ones. I like that we have a lot of variety of frog. No notes, I love it. I also like the water lily I did here. I think the shading looked really nice. Next we have the Bear Family Band. I just posted this one on Instagram actually. This piece took me a really, really long time because my style that I'm doing doesn't have a lot of line art in it. Like it does have line art, but it's not everything has like a black outline, for example. But the problem was that once I started coloring this and I was turning the line art on and off to color it, I really liked the way it looked with the line art, but it wasn't what I wanted it to look like. So I was struggling with trying to make this piece look good when I turned the line art off. And good to me. Like maybe it still looked nice, but it was a bit of a struggle to make myself like this piece, despite really liking the concept and the drawing. Ultimately, I'm happy with how it turned out. I think each of these characters is interesting. I like the details I gave them in terms of lots of pattern. That was one choice I made was I finished coloring it in and it's very flat. And I was like, well, I don't want to do shading on this piece. There's a little bit here and there, but this is not a piece I want a lot of dimension in. So how can you make it interesting? And that is through patterns. So each of their clothing items has a pattern or a texture or a detail. I decided to do the sky with this kind of scribbly background. That was something I've never done before, but I think it's really nice. When I finished it and then I turned it off to see if I wanted to keep it like that, as soon as I got rid of the scribbly background, I was like, it kind of is missing something. So I kept it, and I think I love it. I am glad that I did this one as a vertical piece, not a square one, because I would like to do prints of it. Overall, I like it a lot, but it did take me a long time. I worked on this on and off all month. Even though it's a pretty simple piece, it was just because I was fighting with some of the decision making, like I mentioned. Those are all the art pieces that I posted on Instagram this month. But I also did one of my dogs. So this is the picture I did of my dogs. Like I said, I lost one of my dogs this month, so that was the black one, the black lab, and our golden retriever passed away in 2019. So I've lost two dogs in the last couple of years. It's been really, really hard because they have not been nice or expected endings, unfortunately. I don't really want to talk about that because it's really, really painful, but I wanted to do an art piece to kind of work through some of those feelings, do some like visualization that was helpful, and also have a piece to put up that I could think about and feel happy about, even though right now it's a little too raw. So this is the piece I did. I love a lot of things about this, and I struggle with some things. So first, let me just tell you what it's about. So we have my two dogs here running on the beach in Nova Scotia. That's where I live. And this is sort of just a generic, it's not a specific beach, but it's sort of meant to be more like a dreamscape, like a place you would imagine them being rather than a real location. I put my parents' house in the distance, and I put smoke coming out of the chimney, which kind of just says like somebody's home. That was the idea behind the piece. So they're running on the beach. Things that were really difficult about this piece, obviously, just emotionally making it was not easy, but I found the dogs really challenging. I found the landscape was complex in terms of the effect of doing the water, like where the tide had receded, where it was shiny and reflective. That was that took a lot of trial and error, but I'm very happy with it. Ultimately, it's a fairly simple execution of that practice, in that I just did a gradient of light. I'm talking about the white section in the middle. It's like the sand is on the right and the water's on the left. In between is the area where the tide has receded. So that area is shiny, and I wanted to capture that. So we did the gradient, and then I did the reflections that kind of fade away of the dogs, but they're kind of running, so they're like not full on the floor. So I've got footprints and the reflections. I think that turned out well, and all the other landscape is fairly simple. It's just a lot of shapes, not a lot of detail, but I think that is really tactical for this piece. But then I had to, and I did my parents' house. I actually just imported a photo of it and traced over it, so that was accurate and easy. But the dogs themselves were challenging. So not just because of the emotional subject matter, but because how do you draw a dog from the butt side? Like it's not easy, because that's a really awkward perspective. The same way that if you draw a dog standing straight on, some dogs are very easy to draw in profile, but face forward, they're more challenging if they have a structural head or something. And also, my black lab is black and very inky black, so he was very difficult to draw in general, always, because he was low contrast. So for the black lab, I just kind of did some gray highlights to outline the shapes of the limbs and such. I think he was a simpler design because he wasn't a fluffy dog also, so it was kind of a bit more straightforward. Dog legs are also quite difficult to navigate in terms of the way that they bend from the back. But I used a lot of reference photos of both of them. Luckily, I took a bajillion photos of my dogs at all angles. The golden retriever was tougher because I was able to get some of her fluff, but her color pattern changed throughout her life. Like when she was younger, she was a reddish gold. When she was older, she was white and gold. So I was looking at a lot of different photos and I was struggling with which era to capture. So there's a little bit of everything there. And I think that ended up making the golden retriever, more detailed looking than the black lab, but it's more true to their actual coloring and design as a creature. Design as a creature? What am I saying? It's what they look like. It's just more true to what they look like. Anyways, I gave them the collars that they had, which was nice and high contrast, and also worked with the color palette. So that was this piece. I think I talked about this one the most, but obviously I'm very attached to it. And yeah, I love it. I'm very happy that I did it. I'm going to get it printed and put it in my office. So those are the digital paintings that I did this month. That's like the arty art that I did. But I did a couple other things as well. This month I got really into jewelry making, which has always been a hobby of mine, but I haven't really spent a lot of time on it in the last decade or so. But I did get into it. So I'm just going to show you on screen a few of the pieces that I made. These are necklaces that I just kind of came up with some of the new beads and pearls that I've purchased. It's super fun to make them. These ones are like prototypes just for me, but I'm debating if I want to make multiples of any of them that I can sell, put them up in my online shop and just see if anybody's interested, or take to, I have a market in April that I'm kind of slowly preparing for. So we'll see about that. But they were really fun to make, and I enjoyed that a lot. I've also kind of created a craft zone around my couch so that I don't have to just be in my office all the time. And on the weekends, I'm doing a really strict no working on the weekends. So I'm doing a lot more crafts. So that's been great. This weekend just passed, I did polymer clay. but I wanted to make little pieces I could make into jewelry because obviously that's my thing right now. So I sculpted a lot of little not cloves, like little heads of garlic, which I think are so cute. I don't know what made me want to make garlic necklaces, but I really do want to do that. I don't know. I made peas in a pod. I made some pieces to make apples. Yeah, just some pieces. So as of the time of filming this, I've sculpted them all, baked them all. I've started painting them, but I haven't finished. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. And what else did I do? Oh, I've also started a new sketchbook. I got a little one, which is what I wanted. It's like a 3" by 4" sketchbook. And I'm trying to get better at not just sketching with a pencil, because like I don't do pencil sketches ever really anymore, but also human faces. I'm not good at drawing people. So this is my challenge to draw people. I'll do a video about this, just about that little book when I get it like half full, or I don't know how many I'll get done before I do my first, like, here's some faces I drew critique, but I'm having fun working on that. And I started off with a drawing of myself that is really bad. So it's nice to see, even as I'm like working through every couple of days, I'm getting better. And kind of finding a style within that, which is kind of neat. So that was the point. I think it was good homework, and it's not done, but that's also what I'm working on this month. So that was it. Those are the things that I made this month. That's everything I've drawn lately. Feeling like January, despite being a sad, difficult month, was also a productive one for me. I'm actually surprised to look and see how many pieces I finished because it felt like I haven't been drawing very much, but clearly that's not necessarily true. I hope you enjoyed this. I do have it marked on my YouTube video calendar to do a monthly review every month now. We'll see if I actually do it. But if you liked this kind of video, let me know, because I do want to kind of hold myself accountable, especially if you enjoy watching me review my art and talk about it a little bit. All right, well, that's everything. Thanks a lot for being here. I really appreciate you. Hope you have a great day wherever you are. It is a snow day here. There's a lot of snow and it's still falling. So at least the power's still on. It's a good sign. Okay, have a great day. Mwah, mwah. Love ya. Bye.